Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. This is the After Hours Gaming League. You can find out more information at afterhoursgaming.tv, started by Day 9, and a fantastic idea. I love this concept. I am extremely excited to be involved with this. This match is part of week 3, Amazon going up against Twitter. Amazon is currently 2-0. They're representing childsplaycharity.org. You can go to that website to find out more about that charity. They were started by Penny Arcade, and essentially what they do is they give presents to children in hospitals on Christmas Day. It's a fantastic charity. I've raised money for them in the past. Arya being very, very manner here, talking about how much he loves Amazon. Twitter on the opposite end has been representing roomtoread.org, basically teaching children to read in underprivileged nations, South Africa, Zambia, India, Vietnam, Cambodia, helping kids get a leg up basically in their education, because basically you give kids an education, particularly in that realm of the world, you're boosting their income practically 15 to 20% is what I think they say statistically. Anyway, the players, Arya Osmanfar, aka AA, he's changed his name, is a man of few words and greater abbreviations. Had one of the most entertaining profiles I've seen. 12 o'clock location, we have Dasnor, aka Richard Cow, and he is playing for Amazon, their best player. Has a Master League Zerg, hates protoss though, and Twitter has a ton of protoss, so considering he's the team ace, you might have a little bit more difficult against Team Twitter. Looks like he is planning on, actually opening up pool first. This is on Metalopolis. It is close air positions. I don't think this is MLG Metalopolis though, so it was possible to get close ground. Gateway opening for Arya. It looks like he is going to tack down that assimilator as well on 15 supply. Go ahead and bring up the production tabs. But yeah, these guys, consummate competitors, very intelligent, and it's awesome that they're doing this for charity. Seriously, so awesome. Go check it out. More information at if you're not familiar with this league, After Hours Gaming. .tv. 3 drones in gas, and we have a spawning pool on 15, so it looks like we're going to have at least an initial aggressive posture for Dasnor. And it is possible he could just take the Zerglings producers and run on this front door, because thus far not sealed, and it's second pylon before Cybernetics Core just now starting up, and it's going to be a little bit of time. Let's see once that Zealot starts producing. Not 100 supply yet, but those Zerglings could be on their way, could be very close to the front door. It looks like it's just going to be the complement of 2. There wasn't enough larvae out to really produce anything beyond that, but one thing for Dasnor is he's definitely going to have vision and map control with that early Zergling pressure. Cybernetics Core and Gateway with that Zealot to start are just going to have to provide a flat amount of defense. And on top of that, Dasnor is going to have a ton of information with this Overlord in this base. This Zealot has to come out first to defend against the early Zergling pressure. And on top of that, it's going to be a while before a Stalker's out and is able to really take care of that Overlord. So going to be a ton of vision between that plus the Zerglings that are chasing everything down in the field. So Arya is going to be AA is basically going to be entirely in the dark and perhaps economically behind, because now we see Dasnor taking a natural expansion, which he can very easily hold at this stage. Zealot is going to ward off that Zergling, so that probe was able to sneak in. Stalker now being fielded, Cybernetics Core working on that warp gate research. And second gas being taken out for Arya, so it looks like he is planning on going perhaps more sentry heavy. To start, there's a Zergling just hanging out there for Dasnor at the natural expansion, providing information, wants to deny, or at least be annoying. Get vision on the troop count without dying perhaps, and also, that poor Stalker, he's like, I want to kill that Zergling. Just kidding, Zealot blockade. What a jerk that Zealot, and he's just denying kill, and it's helpful for the team too. Anyway, Overlord's moving across the corner, just going to try to peek over that edge and sneak in, catch the tech, and in perfect timing, it looks like it is going to be able to maybe wander in on this corner for Dasnor. 2 additional gateways. I'm wondering if we're actually going to see a fourth for a pure 4 gate at this stage. It does not look like it though at this stage. Are you just sticking to the 3 gate? So probably going to see a 3 gate expand. Thus far, I like the Overlord coverage from Dasnor. He is now saturating that natural expansion, is in a nice economic position, 24 harvesters to 25. That plus the saturation, he's going to have a significant economic lead. Plenty of queens out. Looks like he's getting that creep spread going as well. He's actually pulled all of his drones off gas, so he is going to have to rely on a heavier Zergling count. And you can see he's actually getting 12 Zerglings just in case there's any sort of attack pressure here from Dasnor. So rather than sacrificing an Overlord and seeing if he needed to produce anything for a 4 gate at this stage, he's just going to produce the Zerglings and have the troops out just in case a 4 gate was coming, which isn't all that terrible, because let's say there was a natural expansion that was being built at this stage, he's still going to have those Zerglings, can run up, can harass that natural expansion, can still maintain map control. Looks like additional warp gates being produced, and the problem now for Arya is while he does have some infrastructure, While he does have some sentries to provide a little bit of defense on his main, he's not really in a position where he can wander out and take this natural expansion very easily, particularly against such a large amount of zerglings. It looks like an additional spinecrawler out on the front. 6 drones, and you can just see whenever a zerg feels comfortable like Dasnor right at this stage, he's just going to pump drones. He knows that there's no pressure coming whatsoever at this stage, that basically anything Arya can do him, so he's going to get that evolution chamber down, get some more drones and gas, get some gas tacked up in general, push that tech, and just build a very strong economy. And you can see, yeah, right there, Arya having some difficulty. Zerglings down on the low ground. Yes, he has sentries, but a little bit worried about giving up position, and just the threat of those zerglings are keeping him pinned in the meantime. Now Arya's response, okay, well, I can't take my natural expansion. I'm floating a little bit too many minerals, more than I like. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this in by getting a pylon, some additional gateways, spread them out, actually getting a Twilight Council as well. So I wonder if he's going to transition to a Blink Stalker build at this stage. He's actually supply capped himself, which hurts a little bit here at this stage. In the meantime, Dasnor is working up towards that layer tech. He's also got an evolution chamber, second evolution chamber planting down, still not operating on the first just yet. There's level 1 melee looking to see, and I'm almost wondering if we're going to see Infestor style play. And Dasnor feeling very, very comfortable at this stage, is saying, okay, I know there's no natural expansion. There hasn't been for quite some time. So there's got to be some large attack that's going to come down the line. So let me go ahead and just sacrifice these zerglings. I'm going to keep an eye on this troop count as it builds. Hallucination upgrading. So this could be an interesting attack from Arya, going perhaps a hallucination combination attack. But in the meantime, 3 spine crawlers down for Dasnor. He's also got that spore crawler, which can provide detection. Playing very, very defensively. What I'm hoping to see is a Blink Stalker hallucination combo. Robotics facility a little bit superfluous in the background for Arya. I don't think he's really going to be able to utilize it. Is now planting a natural expansion, even though at least initially he was posturing with all these gateways and that with that Blink Twilight Council that he was going as though he was going in for an attack, but instead he's going to wander out, take this natural expansion, try to play economic catch-up, and just have some padding of troops to work with. In the meantime, also getting an observer off that robotics facility to get both high ground spotting for the Blink Stalkers, which he could have gotten actually from those hallucinated units as well, or just, yeah, get some general long-term scouting so he doesn't have to rely on hallucinated units over the long term. But usually when you have sentries like this and you have hallucination, you don't have to get that observer out, because you can just tink a couple hallucinations that allows you to skip Robotech a little bit longer. Now a lot of zerglings moving out for Dasnor. Level 1 weapons is coming. Looks like we do have that infestation pit. Additional spine crawlers. He knows he's economically ahead, and he's way economically ahead. 53 to 29 harvesters. The only thing he's going to die to is some major all-in attack that would be coming from Arya. So all he has to do is make sure he defends. If he defends, he's going to be in a very strong position. Getting a macro hatch down now. Also expanding, taking an additional base, and yeah, he's got plenty of zerglings out in the field, is actually working his way, actually got Phenumanized Carapace, Pathbin Gels. As soon as he has that Infestor, he should be very, very comfortable. And as soon as he actually transitions to any sort of production, which really, once you're in the 50 harvester count range, you can afford to do, he should be able to just flood this entire map with tons of zerg units. Looks like he's supply capped himself right this second. But now the question is what does Arya do? It looks like he's just sitting back, he's shelling up, he's trying to play a little bit defensively, wants to try to play more towards a long-term maxed game. Unfortunately, he's just going to... Dasnor's in too strong a position. He's way too far economically ahead. It looks like that observer is going to see that third base. But this is where you're kind of in a... I guess you can sit back, just try to max to 100, 100. Or sorry, 200, 200, but the problem is when you let a Zerg sit back comfortably like this, they're going to expand all over you. They're happy to take the entirety of the map. They're happy to get a ton of troops. Dasnor diving in, seeing absolutely everything in the meantime. And really at this stage, especially if you're going towards more of the 200 army, you want to get those Colossi out a little bit more rapidly. It looks like instead Arya focusing on High Templar, wants to go more of the Gateway Templar tech, is researching that Psystorm, but he doesn't actually have the High Templar on the ground to build the energy in the meantime. He's actually moving out here. Baneley Nest is in production. Zergling is going to spot this as it's moving forward, but there are plenty of infestors. They do have fungal growth, a lot of spine crawlers to engage this, so this is almost a suicide mission. On top of that, the Zerglings have the option to swing around, pin this army in, perhaps kill it, or go for a counterattack on a very vulnerable natural expansion. It looks like they are going to come back and provide a little bit more defense. He can blink up, though. That's the other key. The infestors can pin them to the ground, but they can't blink up on the high ground. Looks like a little bit worried. He is in fact retreating. So it looks like, yeah, just posturing forward. He's going to back off. Didn't like what he saw with that observer. All of those, wow, a ton of spine crawlers. Lose that observer on the front. And an ever-growing number of infestors. Looks like several, the roach count actually growing as well. Also, a full tech complement. There's the Spire on top of everything else. And, oof, this is going to be really difficult for Arya very, very rapidly. He actually has caught up somehow in supply. Still way behind economically. 70 harvesters, 73 harvesters to 36. Brutal positioning. But with a large Mutalist complement, Arya is basically going to be pinned into his base. He's tacking on some additional gateways. Maybe with the High Templar and some Psystorm, he might be able to equalize it a little bit. But thus far, it is not looking good. Zealots, Sentries, Stalkers moving forward. Killing that circling at the Xel'Naga Watchtower. Able to clear things out nicely. He does have some High Templar in here, but it looks like they only have about one Psystorm each. So they actually might, after that, Archon would be nice, but thus far they're not super highly upgraded. Still level 0 across the board, going up against a nice upgraded force. Level 2 melee, level 1 armor. Dasnor definitely showing that he is in fact a master level Zerg in both map control, unit composition, unit mass, as well as the upgrades. Definitely staying on top of it. This is going to be killer though. All these infestors, the fungal growth, it looks like Spinecrawler is actually siphoning out. He's playing very, very defensively. Doesn't want to throw this away. Arya starting to poke forward a little bit with those Blink Stalkers, waiting for engagement. Looks like he wants to attack somewhere, because perhaps realizing he's in a bit of a difficult position. Oh, fungal growth catching everything. Double fungal growth, and they're just going to sit there and die. Oh my goodness, looks like one sentry was able to escape. Now engaging. A little bit of a feedback there. Nice Psystorm on the roaches. Unfortunately, there's just a ton of them, and they're caught on the low ramp, and there's not a lot of troops to work with in general. Arya getting picked apart. More fungal growth, and it looks like, yeah, the roaches easily going to be able to clean up. Now Arya with very little troops. In fact, I don't think he has, well, okay, he has 7 Zealots, 5 High Templar hanging out on his front door, but he is going up against basically a maxed army. 200 practically. And Dasnor is going to be able to dive into him with reckless abandon. Fungal growth, everything. Throw Zerglings, throw troops. Could throw Mutals in the back. He has 47 roaches. Ouch. You can just pound through that with... You could pound through this army right here with the roaches alone. Looks like they are fielding forward. They are highly upgraded as far as just, well, the basic level 2 armor, ground carapace. They also have Burrow with that rapid regeneration. Pushing up to engage. These poor Zealots don't even have charge. Psystorm over everything. Some nice storms right there. But the Zealots actually eating some of that damage. Fungal growth on top of all those High Templar in the meantime. Nice feedback to try to clear out one infestor. But overwhelming amount of roaches. They are just careening into this natural expansion. More Zealots warping in. Looks like the infestor's going to burrow in the meantime just to protect themselves and hide. Stalkers being completely annihilated. It is desperate here in that backfield. And this is not looking good for AA. Natural expansion is easily going to be crushed. Immortal moving up, but a single Immortal against this many roaches, it is a desperate fight. Goodbye, Immortal. Just kind of collapsing there at the ramp. And it looks like Amazon is in fact going to strike first blood in this initial match. There's GG. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, check out AfterhoursGaming.tv and move on to Game 2.